I'm Kat and welcome to episode 6 in my Decluttering My Entire Home series. Today we are tackling 4 spaces in my home: my desk drawers, some of my pajamas or like my 2 pajama bins, some of my son's toys, as well as my socks, which may seem random, but you'd be surprised at how many like mismatched pairs there are. And throughout the voiceover of this video, I'm also going to be sharing some of my favorite tips and methods on how to declutter, so hopefully you can get some helpful information throughout this video. So with all that said, grab a fun drink, maybe some coffee, some ice water, tea, whatever you're feeling, and let's get productive together. So to start off, we're going to tackle my office drawers. Now here I have a garbage and a box that I'm going to be putting everything to donate in, because my goal here is to get rid of as much as I possibly can. I feel like these drawers have become so cluttered because there's so much stuff that I really don't need. Honestly, I have also decluttered these before. Actually, funny enough, I think a year ago in like February of 2024, I decluttered these drawers in a video. Actually, now that I think about it, I feel like I was wearing this exact same sweater in that video, which is kind of funny. But we're back a year later to declutter, which is very normal. I think we often have to revisit spaces time and time again, and not doing it for a year is probably waiting a little too long. But I will say that part of the reason it got as messy as it did again is because I really did not get rid of as much as I think I should have last year. I think there were so many items in here that I'm like, oh, maybe one day I'll need it. And then it never ended up happening. I haven't touched it. So we're going to be donating and getting rid of a lot of stuff. So my first step for the top 3 drawers is to remove everything from them, and then we'll figure out what's going back in. So on the purple mat, that's stuff that I'm going to be putting back in the drawer. To the left there is stuff that I'm not getting rid of, but it does not belong in these drawers, and it can be moved somewhere else. And then as you see, I'm like throwing stuff that's garbage out and putting donation stuff into that box on the floor. So really just taking it item by item. And something else that I wanted to do throughout this video is share different tips and like my favorite ways to declutter as much as possible, because I totally understand that it can be really difficult sometimes. And I have a lot of things that have really helped me to declutter different spaces in my home and get rid of stuff that, you know, I was probably holding on to for a little too long. Because if you're anything like me, having a bunch of stuff everywhere definitely messes with your peace and like your mindset and stuff. Okay, so tip number 1 when it comes to decluttering, and this is probably my favorite thing to ask myself when I'm trying to decide if I want to keep an item or get rid of it, is if I didn't already have this, would I be looking to buy it? 9 times out of 10, the answer is no. Now, I love using this when decluttering clothes. I think that it's a really great way to, you know, figure out if you've got 5 white t-shirts and you're like, do I really need 5 white t-shirts? Well, if I had 3, would I go buy 2 more to add those to my collection? Probably not. So you can probably get rid of them and save space. But I almost found it more difficult to do that with these more like office desk style items, because I found myself thinking like, well, you know, these little stickers that go around a piece of like the holes on a piece of paper, if you need to put it in like a binder or something, like I have them, and what if one day I end up needing it? Do you know how many years I've had those in this drawer and I have never once reached for them? And if I didn't own them, I definitely would not be going out to buy them. If the day ever comes where I need that, I can order them or I can run to the store. It's just not something that needs to be taking up space here. So I finally decided to put those in the donate bin. So by asking myself if I would go out and buy this if I didn't already have it, if the answer is no, there's no reason to be keeping it and, you know, just storing it for something that I'm not actually using. So my next tip is more of the method I like to use whenever I'm decluttering a space, and that is to separate everything into piles. I think when you're looking at a space that's a complete mess, say it's a closet, a drawer, a cabinet, whatever it is, a room, maybe I had that in, I think it was episode 4 in the series. We did a complete declutter of my home office, or episode 5, which was turning our junk room into my son's playroom. So sometimes it's an entire room, but regardless of how big the cluttered mess is, it can feel really overwhelming when you're just just looking at the project as a whole. So my favorite method is to use the 5-pile method, which is where you do an initial sort with 5 piles, and every item either goes into the keep here pile, the move somewhere else pile, the donate pile, the throw out pile, or the not sure pile. And when you're going through this first sort, you want to give no more than like 5, maybe 10 seconds to each item that you pick up. It makes you think quickly. And what is your gut reaction, your first thought when you hold up this item? Is this really something that you want to keep? Are you kind of like, nope, you know what, this can go? Or if you really are unsure, you can place it in that pile, and then afterwards you can go back and, spend a little bit more time thinking about each of the items in the unsure pile. So big or small space, highly recommend the 5-pile method. So once I had made all of my piles, I then started going drawer by drawer and adding items back in to kind of see how I was going to play around with it. And this definitely is fluid. Like, since I did this project, I have already made a few edits, I'm thinking in terms of like computer editing. I've already made a few changes where there's a couple items that I took out. I'm like, you know what? I don't actually need this. I can put this in the donate bin. So decluttering is definitely an ever-going process. I was actually on a work call today. It was like a big team meeting. There were like 30, 40 people on there. And as part of the meeting, we do little breakout groups and we all have to answer a question, like a little icebreaker for the meeting. And today's question was, what is a spring ritual that you have? Literally every single person said cleaning and decluttering. And obviously I said that too, but then again, I kind of do that all year round, as you could tell by my videos. And this one person I worked with said something that I thought was really cool. He was talking about how much he likes that come springtime, it's almost like, a collective thing that all of us humans, for the most part, like do spring cleaning and decluttering. It's like a sense of unity. We're all living our own lives. We're all in our own world, but we all end up doing a very similar thing this time of year. And I love that for a couple of reasons. I mean, one, he's right. It does give you a sense of unity and like motivation to think about like, hey, it's not just me trying to declutter right now. Almost everybody is in some way, shape, or form trying to declutter and clean out their life and do a nice deep clean, deep reset of their home. So we're kind of like all in this together kind of a mindset. And also just in general, spring is like a great time to declutter because it's getting so nice out. You can open up the windows, let fresh air in. I mean, depends where you live. I say that as I live in Connecticut, and this week it's supposed to be 30s and 40s, so I won't doing that. We had one 70-degree day last week, which was incredible, but I don't think we're expecting those for several weeks at least, but that'll be nice when it comes. I'm totally getting sidetracked here. Moral of the story, I think that the springtime is the perfect time to declutter and clean your home because it really it's like we're all in this together. We're all doing this. We're all working at it. So whenever you feel unmotivated, know that you are not alone in this process and you're going to feel so much better after you get the project done. This bottom one here is designated to like my cards and envelopes and stamps and things like that. And I had this little set of fall cards in there that I want to say like 6 or 7 years, maybe even more. I have had them. They were like little mini square cards that had leaves on them. And for over half a decade, through countless declutters, multiple moves, I have kept them and told myself that I may one day want to send out fall cards to people and that these are perfect. First of all, it has been years that I have never done that. I've never thought to send out fall cards. And I don't know why I said first of all. That's literally the only point, because that's the only point that's necessary. I literally have have not done it for years. So why do I need to keep saving them? They have survived countless declutters and I always keep them because I'm like, you know what, maybe one day. No, Kat. So I finally was like, if the day comes that I decide that I just have to send out fall cards this year to people, I can go to the store and buy some. They're not that expensive. Chances are it's not going to happen though. Now that I got rid of those, now it's going to happen. Watch, if you know me in real life, next year you're probably getting a fall card, but it won't be those mini square ones. But that was just a little story time about one of the items that I finally decided to declutter and let go of, and it feels really good that I did. Now, let's take a step back. Here is a reminder of what the first drawer looked like, and here's the after. Such a satisfying before and after to me. Here's the second drawer and after, so much better, so much more organized. Third drawer, a bunch of cluttered mess, and after, it looks so much better, so neat, so simple, so much less stuff. Here's the fourth drawer. Again, one of the best things I did was get rid of a bunch of stuff because it's easier to keep a space clean the less stuff that there is, and everything in here I actually use. So I'm so grateful with all of that. And with all that being said, let's move over to the next project. And for this project, we're going to be decluttering my pajama bins. As you can see, they are overflowing. I never wear like half of these. I'm always picking through them to try and find the ones that I want. So we're going to take care of that right now. Alrighty, now let's talk about a few tips on how to handle decluttering sentimental items. That's definitely one of the most difficult categories because these are items that you feel attached to in one way or another, whether somebody gave it to you who you really care about, or it's a souvenir from a really amazing trip, or maybe if it's an item of clothing that you wore to a certain dance from years ago that you had a great time at. When we attach emotions to objects, it can be really, really difficult to let them go, even if they're literally just stuffed in the back of a closet. We never use it, we never touch it, we never look at it. And it's probably something you don't even think about until you take it out. And then when you're trying to declutter a space, this shirt comes out that you got from, a trip you took 10 years ago. And you're like, oh, I can't get rid of this shirt. It's a great shirt. Now let me just stuff it back in the back of that drawer. And I'm never actually going to wear it or think about it until another year from now when I try and declutter the space again. So you see, it's just like, what is the point of keeping it? So a few things that you can do. Number one, separate the memory from the object. You want to ask yourself, is this memory in the item or is it in me? And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's also really powerful because often the object just triggers the memory, but you don't need the actual item to keep the memory alive. You have that in your mind. And so something you can do as well, if it's an item that you decided you want to let go, but you just don't want to forget it in that sense, take a photo of it. And then you can have an album in your phone or email them to yourself. Like a memory album on your phone or your computer is a really, really great way to go about that. And chances are you're going to look at that album on your phone more often than you would go open that box at the back of your closet to look at whatever items they are. So it really can be a pro in both ways. You're saving space and you're going to get to actually see and appreciate the item more often. Another mindset tip that helps me a lot is to remind yourself that you may not be getting any practical use out of this item. It's more of just an emotional connection you have. But if you do decide to donate it, somebody may find that shirt or that piece of decor, or that little knickknack that you just kind of have stuffed in a box for whenever you feel like looking at it, which never happens unless you're trying to declutter. And somebody may find that at a secondhand thrift store or something and be like, wow, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. And they're going to treasure it and love it and use it. So I kind of tell myself, like, if I donate this, I'm going to be giving it to somebody who's going to give it a second life and give it, all these opportunities to shine again. Super cheesy. And some of you are probably listening to me like, Kat, you're absolutely crazy, but it makes sense in my head. And I guarantee you at least one of you understands where I'm getting at with that. Because yes, they're just objects, but it can feel very sad to let go of them when you've attached an emotional connection to it. So almost thinking of it as like, I want somebody else to find this object or whatever it is. I want somebody else to wear share the stress and experience what I did while having it in my life. And I find that so helpful because it really kind of flips the script. And instead of thinking of it as I'm like really sad to let this item go, instead I think of it as I'm so excited to let it go for the next person to get it and use it in their life and treasure it and be excited about it and wear it or whatever it is. But anyways, now we're done decluttering my pajamas. As a reminder, this is how messy and stuffed they were before, and here's the after. So much cleaner, so much neater, and only the ones that I actually wear. So now we can head over to my son's nursery because our next decluttering project is his toys and his books, or his toys that are up in his nursery at least. For the most part, I'm not getting rid of any of these toys because we really haven't bought that many, and the ones that we have got are like we really, really love them, and hopefully in the future when we'll have a second baby, we'll be able to use them. My mother-in-law gifted him a Love Every subscription, so every couple of months he gets a new box with more like age developmental appropriate toys, and we look forward to that every couple of months. But a lot of the toys from the earlier boxes he isn't as interested in anymore, and even if he is, I do think there's a lot of value in swapping out his toys versus just having them all laid out for him all of the time, because one, it helps him stay more focused on the toys that are in front of him versus getting, constantly switching from this toy to that one and getting distracted and all of that. And I've also talked about before, I'm a huge fan of the rotation method for toys where, every month or so I can swap out the toys that he has out in his area to play. And I think especially as he gets older, this will be really great because one, he'll be getting more toys, but two, he'll be more aware that, they are new toys, and it'll be like an exciting thing that he's getting to see these toys that he technically already had, but they're going to feel new to him because he hasn't had a chance to play with them in a little bit. So definitely a fan of that method. And then over here, I made a rule for myself that each shelf in the little book section can have no more than 3 books because they were just getting so filled up and we're not reading all of them. So again, I love the rotation method. So here I'm just making sure that there's only 3 per row and then taking out any that we're going to put somewhere else for now. Alrighty, on to our last organization project of the video. This one's kind of silly isn't the right word, but I don't know, it just feels random. We are decluttering my socks. My sock bin has just become so full, and half these socks, actually more than half, probably like 75% of these socks I never wear, but I'm like, oh, I can't get rid of them. Yes, I can. If I'm not wearing them, I can get rid of them. I love the method of declaring sock bankruptcy, where you basically get rid of as many socks as you can, and then you just start fresh with all new ones that are the same color, same size, whatever. I mean, I would imagine they're all the same size anyways, but you know what I mean. It helps to avoid mismatched socks and make your sock drawer just a little less of a thing that you have to worry about or continuously go and declutter and reorganize. So for me, I didn't get rid of all of my socks because there are a handful that I actually do love wearing, but the majority of these socks we are getting rid of. I never wear them. I never want to reach for them, so they can go. And just to zoom out a bit on decluttering as a whole, remind yourself that you are decluttering to create a more peaceful home, a more peaceful environment, and a space where you really can thrive and feel your best in. And that really makes it feel like a lot more motivating to get to decluttering. Also, I like how in some of these clips you see my husband's hand make an appearance. He was playing with our son on the bed, and then obviously Callie was in here hanging out. It was like a whole family affair as I was organizing socks. But if you watch until this part, comment a sock emoji. Is there a sock emoji? I don't know, but if there is, comment it. And on that note, here's a reminder of what the bin looked like before, and here is after. So much better, so much less cluttered. And if you are still cleaning, being productive, and you want to continue getting stuff done together, I will have my entire Clean and Organize With Me playlist linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new and give this video a big thumbs up. That really does help me out in my channel and everything. So I really appreciate it. And I will see you in my next video. Okay. Love you. Bye.